Have you ever been jealous of someone else's progress and you wanted to celebrate them, but you couldn't because of your own insecurities? Somebody's doing well with their health, somebody's looking really nice, somebody's doing really well in dating, but it was hard for you to celebrate them because you weren't. Have you ever gone through that? And if you have, what did you do? Did you stop being around that person? Did you stop hanging out? Did you stop congratulating them? Or did you find ways to get yourself in a better position so that you could be happy and for it? So today, we're going to talk to someone who is going through that with their own daughter. Yes, I said their own daughter. And we're just going to talk about the issues that have come about with this young lady and how she's feeling about her own daughter's success, and give her some ways that maybe she can change things. So in the comments in the chat, guys, give your advice. I love the comments. I love the expressions. I love the advice, right? We're always trying to encourage. And guess what? Being truthful sometimes, saying, hey, I felt like that before. I know what that feels like, sis. You'll get over it. Those type of comments really, really help, because most likely she's watching this as well. All right? So let's get into the story. This lady wrote in, and I'm saying lady. She's probably middle-aged, right? So probably in her 40s, let's just say. Her 20-something-year-old daughter is really healthy. She's working out a lot. Her body looks really, really nice. She's comfortable in her clothing. She's thriving right now. She says she's vibrant. Her career is going really well. She has money. And because of all of these things, she's finding a lot of success in dating, right? She's finding a lot of success in dating. Men are seeking her. She's going on dates. She's probably in some little mini relationships from time to time, but she's really, really happy. The problem is mom wants to be happy for her, right? Because we all want to be happy for our children. But she's finding herself behind closed doors being jealous of her daughter's success, her daughter's relationship status, how happy she is, and how good she looks, right? How well her clothes fit, how happy she is to go out and go to the beach. And she's conflicted because she's like, I know I should not be jealous of my daughter, but I am, because I see myself in my daughter, right? So she's basically saying, how long is this going to go on? When does this go away? Will I outgrow this? And if not, what can I do to get to a better place so that I'm not looking at my daughter like this? How can I get back to where I used to be? How can I feel good again? How can I get in the dating? How can I get out there perhaps and feel the same type of love that she's feeling from other people, right? How can she be happy again? So, of course, this is what we do. So on Lunchtime Logic, guys, if you haven't figured it out yet, all right, this is normally at lunchtime. I go live because most of you are eating lunch. I'm also eating lunch. So what we do is we get together, we eat lunch together. So don't feel any type of way if you have something to eat. And we talk about people's issues like this one. And we get into ways that they can enhance their situation through health and fitness, perhaps through wellness, perhaps through some habit changing, right? Alterations, okay? And just try to weave it all together, right? And give people good advice for them to move on properly and have some success in their situations, all right? So that's what we do. So guys, you will see me eat while we talk, okay? The main reason why I eat when we talk is, first of all, it's lunch. Second of all, I'm able to explain to you guys a little bit about nutrition every time, just to make sure that you understand how important nutrition is in your journey. But thirdly, a lot of you guys will see workout videos of influencers like myself and coaches, and you'll say, wow, he probably only eats 500 calories a day. He probably fasts 8 days a week. Man, this dude eats no sugar at all. So when you see me eating all the time, you realize that he is a real person and that he eats every day and that he just alters things a little bit. He tracks his food, but he eats. We don't starve ourselves. I know a lot of guys look like they haven't consumed carbs or sugar in the last 22 years, but that's not the case, okay? So today, we can call it a protein bowl. I don't like to call it a protein bowl, guys. It's just a bowl with food in it, all right? So I have 1 cup of peas, 1 cup of canned peas, a 3-ounce can of tuna. I love the canned tuna and the canned salmon to add to those bowls. 5 ounces of chicken and 5 ounces of cooked salmon, all right? That normally gets me around 700 calories, give or take. and keeps carbs low. I'm super high on being high in protein content, guys, and low carbs. Now that works for me. I'm an easy gainer. Okay, so it's easy for me to gain weight, easy for me to put on muscle. I've never had a problem doing that. But to keep my body fat down, it's a lot easier for me to just consume a lot of protein and lower carbs. You might need to consume more carbs to keep you going. All right, well, we'll talk about that another day. Now, let's get to the subject, man. I think this is very important. We rarely talk about what we go through as middle-aged parents with our children, right? And the success that they're having. Which is crazy because most people look at it and say, well, there's no way you should feel some type of way about your kids. Well, you're a human being and so are they, right? And this is what happens. Nobody prepares you for your kids doing better than you in any area of life. Nobody talks to you about this. Nobody says, do you know at some point your child or children might be healthier than you, might be in a better relationship than you, might be in a better financial position. Nobody prepares you for that and or how to handle it with grace. Right? We just always think they're always going to need us. Or they're always going to need us. They're going to need to live with me. They're going to need me for their finances. They're going to need advice, right? And you don't know that because you might have a 13-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old. You haven't had a young adult yet that calls you mom or dad. You know, one of the things I tell my son all the time is, he's 20. I tell him, bro, this is my first time having a college student because your older brother didn't go to college. So this is new for me, just like it's new for you. I never had it. My son's 13 hours away from me. Okay? So, speaking of that same situation, a lot of you guys know my son plays college football. He makes a lot more money than me. He doesn't need me. Nah, he doesn't need me for that, right? So I still have to support him, obviously, as his dad, but he doesn't need me. He doesn't have to ask me, yo, Dad, can I have $500 to buy this couch? That is an adjustment because 2 or 3 years ago, he didn't have money to buy it. He didn't have a job, right? So that changes things. So when this lady wrote in, I felt for her because she wasn't ready for this. It's funny because most of us in middle age, we didn't see this stage coming, right? And we were there the whole time, but we didn't see it coming. We didn't see the stage coming where we were embarrassed to be in a swimsuit, where we didn't want to take our shirt off, perhaps even in the bedroom with the lights on, with the person we've been sleeping with for however long, okay? We didn't see the stage coming where our kid would get dressed and we're like, holy shit, they look so much better than us. I used to look like that. What the hell happened? So let's get to it. The way she explained it was that her daughter is in her 20s, right? And she's healthy. And that makes a difference. Because when you could be young, people attribute youth with health. And most of the time, if somebody's 25, they end up being a little bit healthier than they are at 45. But most of us are finding we weren't that healthy at 25. We weren't living that healthy. We looked healthy, right? Guys, I had a flat stomach, and I'm telling you, I ate McDonald's 52 times a day. Just 52 times a day, bro, right? But I still had a flat stomach. I was active, okay? But at that point in my life, my metabolism, my metabolic rate was so high that I could get away with it, okay? We slow down as we age. So her daughter's very healthy and she's pretty. Now, mind you, this is what happens too. Since most likely you raised her well and she was well taken care of. What we don't realize often is that we are giving our children access to amenities we didn't have. Okay? So let's just say if you're 40-some years old, that means you grew up in the 70s and 80s. There's a good chance your mom didn't take you to go get your nails done. I'm not saying you weren't doing your nails at home, but you weren't getting them done, your toes done. Most likely you weren't. If you're doing that for your daughter when she's 16, how much better care of her hands and feet is she taking? That bleeds into her skincare regimen, right? How much is she getting her hair done? How much is she getting her hair washed? What are the products she can use? Because you afforded her a better life than what you had. Not that your parents didn't do a good job, but we grow, we evolve. We're supposed to do better than our parents did for us. That's how it's supposed to go. So what ends up happening is, or what probably happened in this scenario is that she set her daughter up to just appear or to be able to take care of herself better than possibly what she did in her 20s, right? And again, I do the same thing. Now, her daughter is dating in her 20s, right? Things have changed. I think when we were younger, we were pressed to get into a relationship and get married and have kids, start a family. Okay? Great advice. Great advice, right? But we don't always encourage our kids to do that now. What we say? See the world. Experience life. Date who you want. Have fun. You can always come back and get married. You can always get married. There's no rush. There's no pressure. Okay? And so many of her peers are also doing that. So what happens? They have more of a carefree attitude. They're not in a rush. Our kids aren't in a rush, bro. They're not. And again, by design. Because we might have had to get a job after high school. Not because our parents were broke, but because we had to learn how to take care of ourselves. Everybody couldn't go to college. Okay? Even if you went to college, some of you talk about living off of ramen noodles. Being broke. Having to work all summer. What do we do for our kids? They don't have to work. My son has never filled out, my 20-year-old has never filled out a job application in his life. Now, he works because he plays a sport, but he's never had to work retail. So I would imagine, sis, that you afforded her some amenities that you didn't have access to at that time. That leads into a carefree attitude. So she's happier. She's not stressed. Again, some of you started a family, had a baby before the age of 25. These kids now, we're telling them to wait till they're 30, 35. Again, carefree attitude. So, as she's dating, and online dating is different as well. Why is that different? Because they're able to meet people from other areas that we didn't have access to because we didn't have the internet. So, if I lived in New York, I couldn't meet women from Chicago. Now, your daughter might live in Tennessee, and she's meeting people from Florida. And they're able to hook up every once in a while. They're able to FaceTime each other. They're able to follow each other on social media. So in dating now, although people say there's piss in the dating pool, there's a lot of opportunity to be successful in dating now. There's so much opportunity because of technology and the access to other human beings. Okay? Now, since we always talk about wellness, guys, wellness is about feeling good. And why wellness is so important is because when someone feels good, it radiates outside of them. It's like when they're feeling bad. You can see it on their face, okay? Body language. So not only does your daughter look good, sis, she feels good. And mainly because of the success and positive energy that she's getting from the guys that she's meeting online. Okay? So with all these things considered, you're feeling some type of way. And we have to address the jealousy factor why it is a thing, and why we shouldn't be so shook up about it. It's natural to be jealous, right? We're normally jealous of something that we want that we don't have access to, okay, that someone else has. That's usually what happens, okay? So it's natural and everybody feels it. It's just that some people have different levels of jealousy, right? Again, due to what they have access to, meaning this. If you make $50,000 a year, you're jealous of someone who makes $250 and lives in a bigger house and drives a better car. But that guy that makes $250,000, he's not jealous of the guy that makes $250,000, his next door neighbor, because they all have the same material items. They all have the same access to wealth. They all can take their families on vacation. You understand? He gets jealous too, but he's not getting jealous of the same type things you would get jealous of. Now, because being jealous is a human emotion, we don't get to pick who we're jealous of and who we're not jealous of, right? Because how many of you guys have been jealous of someone that was dating your ex just to find out they ain't shit? Huh? And you like, I was really jealous of this mother. It was mainly just because they had something that you used to have that you wouldn't mind having access to again. Huh? That was the problem. Again, as a human, we get jealous when someone has something that we don't have access to. So you being jealous of your daughter is based upon the fact that you don't have what she has. You don't have the flat tummy. Huh? You don't have the small waist. You don't have the vibrant skin. You don't have guys asking you out. You don't have the carefree attitude. You're not as happy. So let me just tell you that it's natural that you're a little jealous of your daughter, because the emotion is not selective. It's not selective emotion. You understand? Your brain doesn't select who you're going to be jealous of and who you're not. I don't believe that because it's your cousin, it won't hurt your feelings if they talk bad about you. It's still going to hurt your feelings, okay? Doesn't matter if they're related to you. You're jealous of your daughter, but you're just jealous of another human being who you have access to, who has access to things that you don't, and you're constantly reminded of it. So if she was your friend, you're only reminded of it when you're on her social media, when you talk to her on the phone. But because she's your daughter, you see her all the time. You talk to her all the time. You're constantly reminded. And again, jealousy is an emotion that is hard for us to control. And we're not taught about that much. That's why I thought this letter was amazing. So it's natural to be jealous of your daughter. You're not wrong for that. But I am here to tell you, before I start to give you some solutions to this, is that because you're her mother, because you raised her right, because you put her in position, it's a good chance that she's not going to be unhappy anytime soon. She's not going to be without resources anytime soon. If you raised her right, she's not going to be unhealthy anytime soon. She's going to take pride in her self-care. You understand? There's a lot of things that she's going to do to keep her in that happy zone. So you better get used to it. So let me help you with something. And guys, I reference my own life a lot of times just so you know I haven't always had it figured out, right? I don't have it figured out now, I don't know. But as a man, when your son is a college football player or just a college athlete, right? We're just specifically talking about that. They're in the best shape of their lives. My son looks like he could be in Captain America right now, right? He's handsome, hair's nice, all the things. Smart, all the things. It's something that you want for your child, but you also have to want that you can deal with it well. It's not easy. It's not easy, right? But I will tell you that the more I concentrate on elevating myself, easier it is to handle it. Easier it is to handle it. Because although I wanted him to turn out like this, I don't want to be on the opposite end of it. And that's just what it is, okay? Now, number one, sis, you didn't say anything about you work out, you eat right, you track your food, you do anything. This is what I will tell you. Number one, let's make a true assessment of where we are health-wise, right? You guys will hear me say this 1,000 times. Let's always start with getting our blood work done. Full panel. You got to see what you're proficient and deficient at, okay? There are probably things that are going on with you that you just aren't unaware of, that you are unaware of, and that are keeping you from your hormones being balanced, right? So our hormonal balance has so much to do with our mood, how we think, how we move, right? So there's probably so many things going on for various reasons that are keeping you from even feeling good. You could just be low on iron, right? But you don't know that. And a little quick change in what you eat, perhaps, or how you sleep, getting outside a little bit, will help enhance your mood. So I would say go get your blood work done first. Okay? Let's also find some pictures of when you were your happiest. When were you your happiest? Because what I'm gonna bet, Lord have mercy, what I'm gonna bet is when you find those pictures, you were also close to your healthiest self. Notice I didn't say smallest or skinniest. Healthiest self. Most active self. Oh, this picture is from 2009. Man, I was doing this, I was doing that, I was playing a sport. Of course you were. See, because our young people aren't happy just because they're small. They're happy because of the activities they involve themselves in. They're happy because they're around friends a lot. But they're confident enough to be around the friends because they're active and they get a lot of sleep, right? So they're always feeling good. They look good. Look for those pictures. And make a list of what you were doing during that time. What you were eating, how you were sleeping, how you dressed even, how active you were. Guaranteed you were more active, right? There's a good chance you were learning as well. And we rarely talk about that. But guys, when you're elevating your mind, when you're elevating mentally, you feel more secure as a person. I don't care if you learn one new thing every day, you are smarter than yesterday. A person who is more intelligent than the day before feels better about themselves than they did the day before. Now, after you have this picture, let's do a real assessment of what size were you and how much did you weigh. What size were you and how much did you weigh? And that is your goal weight. Now, some people will say, hey, Mark, she didn't have a baby. It was 30 years ago. She'll never get back to that weight. She was 150 pounds. Now she's 210. Guys, or ladies, when you hear a man say my playing weight, that means that is the weight he was at when he played whatever sport. Normally, that's a college athlete or a professional athlete who talks about that type of metric, right? There's so many of them that get back to that. And all of a sudden, they feel better than what they did before. Now, weight isn't everything, obviously. It's the things we do to get back to that weight. Okay? So figure out what that weight is, what your clothes size was. Okay? That's going to be determined by your body fat. And so now you have a goal. Now, maybe you could hire a coach, right? Maybe you could click the link in my bio and say, you know what, Mark? I want a free consultation. And maybe we'll get on the phone for 30 minutes and we'll just try to figure out if you're a good fit for a coach, because maybe you don't need a coach. Maybe you just need me to send you a few programs, right? An app you could track your food. Check back in with me 60, 90 days, something like that. Or you might need coaching, okay? So click the link if that's you. Now, if you don't want a coach and you're going to do it on your own, that's great. This is what I would address first. You already got the blood work done. So they told you what you need to do to establish better levels in whatever you're deficient in. Sis, I'm going to guarantee you that 80% of the solutions that they gave you had to do with better sleep, more exercise, proper nutrition. I would fix the sleep. Women don't, when they used to say, I got to get my beauty sleep, for some reason that has gone by the wayside. The biology of women has not changed. You can't sleep the same time as that man. He was designed to be able to work off of a lack of sleep and a lack of nutrition, to be honest. Okay? You need your sleep. So those of you who, sis, if this is you, sitting up till 11 o'clock every night watching TV, on the weekend staying up super late, and then you gotta get up early and go do stuff, and now you falling asleep in the middle. No. You need to establish a bedtime. Establish a bedtime. You already have a wake up time because you get up every day and go to work. Establish a bedtime and just stick to it. Just try your best to stick to it. Sometimes you're gonna fail. Most of the times you won't, because your circadian rhythm will start to line up. When our circadian rhythm lines up and melatonin production is on a timer, it's every night, it's at the same time, your hormones get a chance to get in balance. Because when you're at rest, sweetheart, your body is in repair mode. But if it's at rest at different times and for different amounts of hours all the time, your body is all over the place. It thinks it has 9 hours to repair, but it actually only has 5, right? So you will see a balance in hormones. Your moods will get better, right? You won't have the hunger signals the same way. Things will start to line up, okay? So you got to fix the sleep. You might see some body fat decrease just from fixing your sleep, because you're in a fasted state and it starts to regulate our ghrelin. And so we don't get the crazy hunger signals, okay? Now, since you did that, you didn't say anything about working out. You didn't say anything about getting steps in. I'm going to ask you to walk 3 times a day. Every time you eat, it might be 4 times you eat. Walk between 10 to 30 minutes every time you eat. Figure it out. And I don't want to hear I don't have time, sis, because guess what? You had time to sit down and write this letter. You have time to walk. You do. Very easy to do. You don't need equipment. You don't need a gym. Go outside and walk. What is that going to do for you? What that's going to do is help regulate your blood sugar. Your blood sugar goes up when you eat. Insulin comes out to help pull it down. Okay? There's other things that happen, obviously, but that's the main function. So what it will do is bring your blood sugar levels down quicker, get the glucose out your bloodstream quicker, and insulin can go back where it came from a lot quicker. You will also start to get a bunch of steps, which is activity, which is a very moderate level of movement for your body, and your body can get very comfortable with starting to use fat. And so you'll start to see body fat you'll lose. Notice I didn't say weight on the scale. That comes too, but you'll start to see your body change. Also, what ends up happening is, because you have multiple times during the day that you're exercising or moving intentionally, your cardiovascular system becomes more efficient, okay? The way you handle oxygen in and out, not in and out, and coming into your bloodstream, okay? And that's how we fuel different parts of our body. So that changes. Because you're walking at different times a day, you're increasing your heart rate multiple times a day. So we're increasing the efficiency of how your heart pumps blood to all the other parts of your body. After meals, if you have to do it inside, if you have to do it outside, if you have to do it inside of work, walk up the staircase and walk back down. If you have to go to the parking garage and walk around your parking garage, walk around your backyard. Some of y'all houses are big enough, just walk around your house. Just keep walking around your house. Walk down to the basement, walk around, walk back up, walk on the main floor, walk up to the third level, okay? For 10 to 30 minutes after you eat, every time you eat. And what is the third thing that we're gonna do? Sweetheart, you're gonna download a tracking app. MyFitnessPal, you can get on Weight Watchers, or one of the other 500,000 apps they have that you can use to track your nutrition. And as you start to track it, and I mean everything, take a picture of everything, you'll start to see what you're eating. This is what's gonna happen. Soon you're gonna say, I hear people talking about low carb. I wonder how I can decrease my carbs, but I know what they are now. People talk about high protein. I wonder how much protein I'm getting. I can just look on my app because I've been tracking my food for 2 weeks. People keep talking about calorie restriction, and I'm wondering, am I eating enough calories? Now you can check it. What'll happen is you start to be aware. When you're aware, now you can make changes whenever you feel like it. Whenever you feel like it. It's very easy. But because you're tracking, you become more aware, and you notice that, oh wait, when I eat these donuts, I'm consuming this much sugar. But when I eat these donuts, I'm consuming a lot less sugar. I'll eat the donuts with less sugar. You start making changes unconsciously. You understand? Now with that, you're just gonna stop eating at 6 o'clock. Put the fork down by 6. Eat all day till 6. What does that do for you? What happens is, because we're normally moving around more during that time. Remember, you take the walk after dinner? Our stomach breaks down our food quicker. Its digestion process through the small intestine, large intestine goes quicker. Blood sugar goes down. Insulin goes back in its hiding place. Now your body can concentrate on repairing when you lay down at the same time every night, remember? Now your body repairs. Now your body's starting to use stored fat for energy at night. If you eat right up until the time you go to bed, your body uses the glucose still in your bloodstream for hours, okay? Because it doesn't get out of your bloodstream very quickly when we eat super late, because our insulin doesn't work as efficiently, especially when we're sedentary, okay? We do these things. Let's fix our sleep. Let's increase the movement after every meal. And let's stop eating by 6, and let's track the food. Take pictures of it and let it be. Take pictures of it and let it be. I don't need you to adjust anything. But sweetheart, what'll happen is, after about 90 days, if you didn't change anything during that time, you will see a huge difference in yourself. So how does that correlate to you being jealous or not being jealous of your daughter? Because you're dealing with an insecurity issue within yourself. If you have a white t-shirt on and the person next to you has a white t-shirt on, you don't care nothing about their white t-shirt because you got your own. So not only are you jealous of your daughter, you're probably jealous of other people that you see. Only because you're not at your best, or you're not even working on it, or your hormones are imbalanced. You can't figure out why you're not sleeping too well. You can't figure out why your skin has blemishes. Because you're not taking care of yourself. So what will happen throughout this process is that you're going to start building these habits that play into you becoming super healthy. And the more you become healthy, you'll become happier. Show me a person who has become healthier in the last 6 months. I will show you a person that has become happier. It is impossible not to be. I don't know a soul who said, I got healthy over 6 months and I'm more unhappy than I was. And then what happens when you're happier after 90 days, sweetie? Now you can start seeing yourself dating, or you can see yourself dating other different people. Because I would imagine either you're not dating or you're dating people that you really don't enjoy because of how you feel about yourself. Whereas your daughter thinks the world of herself. So she's dating people that reflects how she feels about herself. We date to the level of how we feel about ourselves. It was really, it's eye-opening when people write in like this, because these are issues that a lot of people go through but never talk about. People go through, never talk about. So thank you for being transparent, right? It's hard to transform unless you're transparent. But also, that is bothering me and that has been bothering, and I need to change it. You took the first step. I'm telling you those simple changes. Guys, she's going to eat anyway. Just take pictures of the food. You're going to walk today anyway. Just walk after you eat. You're going to sleep anyway. Just go to sleep at the same time. You're probably going to go to the doctor's at some point. Just go get your blood work done. You understand? Most of the changes we make are just adjustments to things that we already perform right now. They're not new. These aren't new practices and new habits. These are habits that we already have. These are movements we already perform. These are rituals that we already have implemented into our daily routine that we just need to change a bit. I promise you, sis, 90 days from now, and especially 6 months from now, you won't even remember feeling like this. You won't. So get to it and make sure you write back in and let me know how everything's going. All right? Now, guys, this is Lunchtime Logic. I really appreciate you guys tuning in so that we can all learn together. I know it seems like I'm not learning because I'm giving advice, but you'd be surprised how much the person giving the advice or educating you on a certain subject gets from the output, right? It's not just input that you get something from. So not only that, I encourage you to email me, coachmark22@gmail.com. That is Coach Mark with a C, 22@gmail.com, to let me know your story. I can keep you anonymous if possible, but there are things that we go through that we're scared to ask advice, on. But if we don't ask the questions, if we don't ask for advice, how do we get solutions and get better? It's almost impossible, right? That's why humans have 2 ears and a mouth, and we can communicate through words, through language. All right? So, appreciate you guys for tuning in with your boy today, man. I'll see y'all on Monday. This has been another edition of Lunchtime Logic. Let's everybody have a great Friday.